Hey, it's me. Just want to let you know that everything's fine. I got home about 4:30, really tired. I'm probably gonna see about going to bed early, but I just wanted to let you know everything's okay, and you have a good night and a good rest, and I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, Alana Jaylo.
Hello.
How's it going, babes?
I'm feeling better. I just sort of woke up from a nap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I notice, babes, that you will tell Miss A to set a 45-minute alarm. And then when you wake up, you'll ask me to wake you up in 10 minutes. 10 minutes go by and you'll say, can I have another 10 minutes? This happens a lot.
Yeah, it's happened more than once.
Have you ever considered setting an alarm for 1 hour and 5 minutes?
I thought about doing that, and for some reason I don't. I don't know. I think I have set alarms for an hour at least. But for some reason, when you've come to visit me, it doesn't happen that way. I don't know why.
That's okay, babes.
It's okay.
I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Yes. We are not in Cancun.
No.
We didn't get to take a trip like Ted Cruz did.
Oh, jeez.
But I heard that he found some very nice bootstraps because he broke his old ones pulling himself up.
All right. That's enough. But
You don't like this guy either, though.
Yeah, but I don't hate him either.
Okay.
I mean, all I have to say is I really feel bad for the people that have a hard time with their power in Texas.
Yes.
I have some relatives in Texas right now, but I think they're on a base, so I'm not sure how better that is, but I would hope that they're okay.
I would imagine that they would be, only because I would assume that a military base would have to have backup power. I don't know for sure, though.
It's possible.
My hearts and prayers go out to the people in Texas, especially Ted Cruz's wife, who's suffering
All right. That's enough.
Okay. All right.
Hot shot.
Sorry, I'm cracking myself up here.
Oh my goodness. I do think it's funny that you do laugh at your own jokes.
Thank you, babes.
I think it's kind of cute, actually.
And that wasn't pretty. It was a low blow, but it was fun, though.
It's a low blow below the belt.
It's kind of like a low blow dad joke. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think it was a pot shot, if you ask me.
Oh. Well, anyways. I hope you get well soon, Ted Cruz's wife.
All right, that's enough.
All right. Enough about that, Jaylo. Babes.
Yes.
After we recorded yesterday, your internet came back up.
Yes, I was so happy.
We discovered it maybe 5 minutes.
Yes, I was really happy.
Wrapping up. Yeah, it was great.
It was wonderful. I was like, oh yes, it was only gone for. I mean, it was hard for the last couple of days, but it was only, thank goodness it was only gone for 2 days, or 1.5 days or something like that. But it came on yesterday afternoon. I'm really happy.
That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
This morning, I woke up. I usually put my phone in Do Not Disturb right before I go to sleep, right? I saw that I got a call from PGE at 5 a.m. So that made me even more glad that I have that practice, right?
Yes.
Go online. It looks like power is back on in my apartment.
Yay.
Yes.
Really good.
So I'm very happy about that, babes.
Awesome.
We had a good time yesterday.
We did. We certainly did.
We listened to KMHD. Then you played me KVRM?
KRVM.
KRVM.
Yeah.
They were playing a lot of white music at the time, though.
Yeah. Suppose, they're more white bread than, we were hoping.
Yeah. But then...
And there's nothing wrong with white bread music. It's just, we like listening to varieties.
Yeah, I can't just listen to white music all day.
It's white bread.
White bread music.
There's a difference.
Oh. It's not like we're listening to like white supremacist albums.
No. It's white bread.
Okay.
Not white.
Nice.
There's a difference.
Nice.
You realize there's a difference, right?
What's the difference, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, when you're thinking about white music, it almost sounds like you're talking about like you said, white supremacy music. Or I don't even know how to even characterize white music, but I guess if you're talking about white bread, it's like
AM radio from like the 1970s.
I've listened to that before.
Okay.
I'm talking about like listening to folk stuff, or like I don't know, like I do like Bread though, the band. I do like some Bread stuff with David Gates.
Oh.
Stuff like that, or your I don't know, stuff like some things like 80s music. Some 80s music sound very white bread to me. Not all of it though.
But I pulled up my Sirius XM app because I am a subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
And we listened to the Motown limited edition station.
Oh, I'm glad you found it because it was really good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us something to enjoy.
It was great. We danced a little bit.
Hung out.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun, yes.
You paid some bills online.
I did, one.
Was that your power bill?
Yes it was.
Oh, good.
Yes it was.
Then we had some leftover pizza.
Yes, we did.
That was fun, babes.
Yeah, it was great.
And afterwards, we went on HBO Max and decided the films we were going to watch.
Yes, we did.
We watched the 39 Steps, followed by Death Becomes Her.
Yes. And I haven't seen Death Becomes Her in a long time. I think I may have seen it once before yesterday. Once or twice before yesterday.
I know I've seen parts of it because my mom enjoyed it. But I remembered very little, like only one or two scenes, which makes me think that I probably didn't watch it from beginning to end when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yes. Should we go over the 39 Steps?
Yeah, it was an interesting movie.
Okay, so I'll start it off and feel free to chime in.
Sure.
It starts off, there's this performance, you hear a band, then a man comes out and says, we're going to introduce, what's Homeboy's name? You don't remember.
No, Mr. Memory.
Mr. Memory, and he could memorize 40 facts in a single day. So people are asking him different questions. One guy says, how far is it from this place in Canada to this other spot in Canada? He gives the answer. Then a shot rings out. Everybody scatters. Richard, the guy from Canada, is leaving.
Richard Haney, yes.
Haney. He's pulled aside by this lady who says, hey, bro, can you take me back to your flat? I need to hide out for a little while.
Right.
They go back to Portland Place.
Yep, of all places, it was called Portland Place. It's a mansion. Portland Mansions or whatever it is.
I think it's like, maybe it used to be, but now it's just like a motel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, they go back. She says, look at your window. There are going to be two men out there. He does that. She explains that since Richard has helped her, his life is now in danger.
Yep.
And she says that she's trying to sell these secrets. They have an exchange. The next morning, she walks into Richard's room, and she had a knife in her back, so she dies.
Yep, she dies right there.
Yep.
And he has to leave.
Richard goes downstairs, and he could see out his front door and notice that the two men are still there from the night before, patrolling. The milkman comes in. Richard gives the guy some money and exchanges clothes with him.
Yeah.
He escapes, goes down to the train station, gets on board. There are a couple guys sitting across from him in this train car.
Yep.
They start to read the paper, and Richard overhears them talking about a murderer and that somebody was killed at Portland Place.
Yep, and he's right there.
Yep. He gets off the train for a minute, but then decides to rejoin them. Eventually, the police are looking around the train. He runs and kisses this one lady on the lips against her.
Yeah, and he's quite by surprise, she's like, "What?
This is kind of weird. Why are we doing this, bro?"
Yeah, bro. Hammond said, bro.
She yells out to the policeman, "Hey, this guy just, kissed me and is trying to get away from you."
Yeah, he's the one you're looking for.
Yes. Richard runs, and they eventually stop the train. I forgot why, but something he did made them stop it. He gets off of it and is in the middle of the country in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Walks around. Eventually comes across this farm ran by this really weird guy. Goes inside.
He seems kind of paranoid.
Yes. The wife is at the kitchen table working on stuff.
She's cooking dinner.
Yep, they communicate. The husband comes in, they pray, all that good stuff.
And they eat.
Yep. Now it's later that night, and the wife notices that the police are coming.
Mm-hmm.
She goes downstairs, wakes Richard up. The husband goes towards them because he thinks that the wife is cheating on him with Richard.
And then she explains to him that no, actually the police are here and they're looking for him.
So Richard gives the guy some money and says, distract them.
And so the wife gives Richard his coat.
The husband's coat.
Yes, the husband's coat. And says, just take this. This is his Sunday best coat, but it'll have to do.
He leaves, going about his merry way, and he goes to this house that's in the area and goes upstairs to meet with the guy who's running things, who we know he's involved in this, but we don't have all the details. We know that he had the lady killed,
mm-hmm.
who was staying with him at the flat. They talk. The guy shoots Richard, but there was a Bible in the breast pocket. I think
it was a hymn book.
Hymn book,
and it just happened to to graze the hymn book, and so he didn't die.
The next time we see Richard, he's talking to the police chief in the area. They seem to be cool until these other cops come, and the police chief is like, "You didn't think I believed that story, did you?" So I think they arrest Richard, but he escapes somehow.
Yeah.
And he goes to this public event and gives a political speech, leaves stage. We see the lady from the train.
Yep.
She's there, and the police come over to them and say, "We're going to take you to jail, and we need this lady to be our witness."
Mm-hmm.
They're going, and the ride to the police station is longer than it needs to be. Eventually, they stop there at this farm, and Richard and the lady, who are now handcuffed together, leave.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they come across a motel,
mm-hmm.
kind of like a mom and pop thing.
Yep.
They rent a room, and the couple who runs the hotel thinks that they must be super in love.
Yeah.
The lady from the train is super freaked out by Richard and all of this. She still thinks that he's the murderer. They get into bed. He falls asleep. She breaks out of the cuffs and is about to leave.
Uh-huh.
It's late at night. But a couple of the guys who are supposed to take them to the police station have entered the hotel and are now downstairs. They're talking, and she realizes that they are not cops.
Yeah.
That they're part of this whole scheme. So she goes back into the room. The next morning, Richard wakes up. They exchange words. And they eventually end up separately at this performance.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a comedy performance.
Yes, but the memory man is there.
Yeah, Mr. Memory.
And he had this formula. Richard is about to get captured, so he yells out something to the memory man.
He goes, what are the 39 steps?
And the guy starts saying it, but then he's shot.
Yep.
So then Richard walks behind the stage, sees the memory man, who's still alive at this point, starts asking him questions. The memory man starts talking, and then he dies, and that's basically the end of the movie. It's very confusing.
It is very confusing.
But
it works with the comedy.
Yeah.
And other stuff that went in it, but it was a confusing plot.
I'm sure there's a lot I got wrong just because it was very hard to follow, but still enjoyable.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable, but hard to follow for me as well.
Yeah. Afterwards, we go to YouTube and type in the 39 Steps Explained, and we find some weird podcast where these two guys are just talking about like Star Wars
and then we find this like a review or an interview with this guy that's doing a Broadway show based on the 39 Steps.
Yeah, and then we finally find this one lady who actually reviewed the movie, but she's mainly talking about the actors in it.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Hitchcock film. In fact, I'd probably put it near the bottom, but it's still very enjoyable.
It is.
I wish I could do this film more justice with my plot summary, and I don't feel that I did.
That's
because,
okay. I wouldn't have explained it. I couldn't have explained it. It's just too confusing.
I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things that happen in this movie, like the thing on the train.
Mm-hmm.
He finds the love and is running through the train.
Yeah.
And Hitchcock repeats a similar scenario about 2 decades later in North by Northwest. Cary Grant is being chased. He's on a train and he finds a love. The only difference is he kind of stays with her until they get to, I believe, Chicago, where he goes his own way and eventually they meet up later. So in both instances, the men go their own way and they meet up later with the women. But in this case, the lady thinks that he's guilty.
Yeah.
And kind of rats him out first. What do you think? And also, I should say, Hitchcock has a movie that I've not watched called Strangers on a Train. What do you think Hitchcock is trying to tell us about trains and love?
You can find love on a train or anywhere else? I don't know.
Why do you think he uses a similar setting in both movies for suspense? Both Cary Grant and the actor who was in 39 Steps are both being chased on the train.
I'm kind of thinking maybe when you get on a train, you can meet all kinds of people. And you wouldn't think that you would be chased on a train, but it just so happens that Hitchcock wanted to make that into a suspenseful movie, I guess.
Many people have called this a classic. I don't know if I would go that far.
It's so confusing.
Yeah. And it could be one of those things that if you watch it multiple times, it makes a lot more sense.
It's just, I liked it. It wasn't bad. It just was confusing.
But Vertigo was very confusing, too.
It was, but it was... I mean, once it was explained, it was really... I mean, I liked it. It's a different kind of confusing, I think.
I think Vertigo is a better movie than this.
I do, too.
Yes.
I do, too.
Yes. What did you think of the religious farmer?
I thought he was super paranoid. I really did. I mean, just because his wife was talking to this guy, he didn't even bother to listen to the conversation to make sure that she wasn't having an affair. I just thought he was just super nutty to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He just was like, he was like, it's not the fact that he was religious, but that he was paranoid and religious at the same time. That was kind of strange.
This film was released in 1935.
Yes.
I believe it's the oldest film that we have watched together. But is it the oldest movie you've ever seen?
I believe it is. And I'm not joking. I think it is.
What can you learn about the time period from this movie, if anything?
That is a really good question. I guess the way that life was in the 30s, I suppose, in England. I mean, I don't know. And also the way that they talked. Very different. And it seemed like the younger people seemed older back then. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Do you think you would have enjoyed this movie as much if you would have seen it in the theaters when it was released? Because I say no. The reason being you couldn't go back easily and research the film. You know.
I would agree.
And find out, well, what does this plot point mean?
I would totally agree.
Okay.
I don't think I would have appreciated it had I been brought up in the 30s.
We know that this movie is based on a book. Do you want to read that?
I don't know. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it would be better explained in the book, but the plot in the movie was just confusing. I couldn't follow it.
I had a lot of trouble with this movie following
I did too.
it, but I liked it though. That's the
it was
thing.
enjoyable. It worked. Everything worked. The comedy worked. The drama worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't anything out of place, but it was just the plot was just confusing to follow. That's the only thing I complain about.
Yeah, like I want to ask more questions about it because I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but I don't even know where to go with character analysis.
I don't even know either.
You know.
It's hard because this guy's running from place to place.
We don't even really know that much about him except that he was from Canada.
And he changed he changed his name a couple of times.
Yeah. But it was, go and check it out.
Yeah, see for yourself. If you don't agree with our analysis of the movie, then see it for yourself, I think.
Well, see it for yourself and decide whether you agree with us or not.
Right. That's what I was getting at.
And if you don't, email us with good ideas for character analysis.
They can't.
What do you mean they can't?
They don't have our addresses.
No, but you could leave it in the comments, I guess. I don't know. You reach out and that's on you guys.
Yeah, but just check it out though.
Do your own podcast about the 39 steps.
Yes.
Yes. Now, we know that there are a couple of remakes of this movie. I, for one, am not that interested in watching them.
Me neither.
Okay. That's good. Speaking of remakes, babe, at one point early on, we were discussing watching the 39 steps and viewing The Shop Around the Corner, which was remade into a film we watched called You Got Mail.
Yep.
And that did not come to be because it's no longer on HBO.
Right.
But I'm curious from your perspective, have you seen any remakes that you think are better than the original? And if so, what are they? Because presumably you would have had seen both the original and the follow-up.
Yeah, that's hard to say. Because a lot of movies that I've seen that were original movies, I liked better. So I really don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
It's really hard to say.
Fair enough, okay.
Okay.
Babes.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about Death Becomes Her?
Yes, I will try. So, I have seen this movie, I think, at least once or twice before yesterday. And I thought it was still funny, even today. And it stars Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, and Bruce Willis. Those are the three main characters.
Directed by Bob Zemeckis.
Yeah, who did other good movies such as
Used Cars, which we're going to watch at some point.
Back to the Future movies.
All of them. Forrest Gump, Romancing the Stone, and others that I'm not remembering at this moment.
Right.
Yes. And he did Castaway, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, very good director. Would you say?
I would say that.
So, if I remember correctly, Goldie Hawn plays Helen, and she is engaged to this man named Ernest Menville, who is a doctor, a prominent doctor. Engaged to Ernest, and it starts off with Meryl Streep's character Madeline Ashton performing in a musical, and I think was Bruce Willis and Goldie Hawn at the performance?
Yes, they were.
They were, okay.
And they went backstage afterwards.
They went backstage, and it seems like Helen, who's Goldie Hawn, and Madeline, who's Meryl Streep, they were old friends, and Helen realizes that, I think Madeline wants my fiance. She tells Ernest, she says, Ernest, I just want to let you know she wants you. She wants you because you're mine. Now, you have to be careful because I don't want to lose you to her. And then guess who he ends up marrying? Madeline Ashton, Meryl Streep.
Correct.
Yes. It turns out that he has a not so good life with her. He used to be a doctor, and now he is an undertaker. He pretty much ruined his life.
But he's still super rich.
But he's still rich. He's just an undertaker, not a rich doctor.
We should say after they get married, they fast forward 7 years. Keep going, babes.
Meryl Streep is very upset, and she goes to this like therapy group, and all she can talk about is Madeline Ashton, because she feels like Madeline has ruined her life.
Can I stop you for a second?
Well,
Goldie Hawn goes to the group.
Okay, Goldie Hawn is what I thought I said.
You said Meryl Streep.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Goldie Hawn goes to the therapy group, so everything that's going wrong in her life, she blames Meryl Streep's character Madeline, because Madeline stole her fiance, who she was engaged to. She finally goes to therapy. She tells the group, "I want to talk about Madeline Ashton." The therapist is like, "Do you think we want to listen to you talk about Madeline Ashton again?" And she's like, "She has taken over your life, and I think you have to figure out a way to..." what did she say? You have to find a way to get over that. And she's like, "You are right." But she's thinking she has to literally get rid of Madeline Ashton.
Mm-hmm.
So... Oh, yes, and so Madeline, Meryl Streep's character, is also found out to be having an affair on Bruce. Bruce Willis's character named, what's his name?
Ernest.
Ernest, yes.
Madeline is kind of
Older.
Vapid, older, unhappy, that type of person.
And the guy's younger.
Yes.
And there's a young naked woman in bed with, in his bed, I think.
Yes.
And he's like, Madeline, I'm tired of this. You gave, I gave. It's no big deal. You got to find somebody your own age, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're useless now. So what does she do? She goes to this, I would call her a witch.
That's fair enough.
She looks very young. She's 71 years old, but she looks like she could be much younger. And she tells her about this potion. If you drink it, you'll live forever. But you have to take care of yourself. And she says, "Well, how much does it cost?" She's like, "Well, give me your hand." And we don't know exactly what she injects her with. I guess it's like the stuff that she has to drink.
It's like a drop of it.
A drop of it, yeah. So she injects it into her hand. And she looks and she's like, "Oh, I'm a girl." And so she drinks it. And after she does, she says, "Now, you will live forever, but you have to take care of your body." She doesn't explain why.
Mm-hmm.
She goes back, and what happens is Helen is trying to think of how she wants to get rid of Madeline. Chime in, please.
When Meryl Streep was away getting her happy drink,
Her potion.
yes, Helen was talking to Ernie, and they were talking about, well, how are we going to kill Madeline? Because Helen, we should say earlier in the movie, was a little bit chunky after the whole, having her man stolen from her.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she loses the weight and wrote a book about Meryl Streep. I don't know if it was about Meryl Streep, but she wrote a book.
The book, yeah.
It became super successful. Meryl Streep goes to the party with Bruce Willis, and that is kind of Helen's in to start communicating with him again. She decides that she's going to steal Ernie from her. So she's talking to Ernie. They come up with a plan. She leaves. Meryl Streep comes back and basically starts taunting Bruce Willis. They have a confrontation, and she ends up falling down a flight of stairs. At first, Ernie thinks he's dead, and he calls Goldie Hawn.
Mm-hmm.
Babes, you want to take it from there?
So Goldie Hawn and him were thinking about this elaborate thing to do. He thinks that she's dead because he pushes her he pushes her and she falls down the side of the stairs, right?
Basically, he's choking her and then he stops, but she's slipping off the stairs and she falls.
And she's like, "Remember what we talked about, what we planned? Did you call the police?" "No."
That's what Goldie Hawn says.
Yes. "Did you call the police?" "No." It's like, well, how are you... well, why didn't you call the police? You're going to be able to trace the calls. Not necessarily. Like, okay, well, don't move her. You talk to me. You call the police. You tell them that you were talking to me, and then you heard a fall. You heard something on the stairs. And then you find Madeline. But just as they're talking, all of a sudden Madeline gets up and she starts to move. And he realizes that she's not dead, but also that her head is pointed the wrong direction.
That was a funny scene.
She can see her butt now.
Yes.
And so
Just
the...
like I can see
oh my
yours.
goodness.
Sorry, keep going, babes.
Okay. So, he calls the doctor, I guess one of his friends, and she adjusts her head, but the doctor is trying to fix her because she's like, it kind of hurts when I do this, and he's not figuring out that she died, but she's not dead. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things happen. He's like, basically he can't fix her.
Eventually, she gets taken to the morgue. Ernie busts her out. They go back to the place, and Goldie Hawn comes in. There's a big confrontation. We discover that Goldie Hawn took this formula or potion, or whatever you want to call it, a few years earlier.
Yep,
yes.
before. Yep.
Yes. But their bodies are broken out. Bruce Willis wants to leave because it's just crazy. Mm-hmm. They run up and say, "Listen, bro, we need you to do some surgery on us." He says, "I'll do this, but after this, I'm out."
I have to explain something though.
Tell me.
They try to kill. They try to kill Bruce. It doesn't work. Madeline and Helen get into this huge fight. She shoots Helen in the stomach. She dies, gets up, and you see this big hole in her stomach. And you said that was funny.
I did.
It's like, there's a hole in her stomach. And they're pretty, badly looking now because they weren't taking care of themselves.
Yes.
And so then they say, "Can you please fix us?" He's like, "Okay, I will fix you guys, but then I'm done." Okay, explain.
Okay, please. Then they're fixed, and stuff starts to happen, and they start to think to themselves, well, what happens the next time we have an accident? We can't just depend on Ernie, and even if we could convince him to stay, he's going to die eventually. Mm-hmm. We got to get him to take the formula. He's about to leave. They drug his drink, and they take him to the place where the witch is.
Yep.
She tries to get him to drink it. He runs away. There's this great scene where he's running through this party. Some dead guy is emceeing it, and he says, we have a strict policy against anybody who is a celebrity, fakes her death, and then tries to come back, but I'm not saying any names. Then Ernie turns around, and he sees somebody dressed as Elvis. That was funny.
That's great. Wasn't he sitting behind him?
No, he was standing behind them with a couple of girls. Okay, so there's this big commotion. Ernie eventually ends up slipping off this roof and is being held by, his necktie or something.
Yep, and they're trying to get him to drink it.
Because he has a potion in his pocket.
Yep.
He decides to throw it. He falls, breaks through this thing of glass at the bottom and falls into a pool. Gets up and runs away.
Yep.
They chase him. They can't find him. Fast forward 37 years. They go to his funeral. He married somebody else.
And had kids, and they had grandkids.
Yes. They eventually leave the funeral. They fall, and their body parts break apart.
And then I think it was Goldie Hawn that said, and they fall because they're trying to find a can of spray paint to spray them.
They slip over it.
They slip over it. It must have been a big can.
Yes. And
so their bodies fall apart, and all you see is their heads. And I think it was Goldie Hawn that said, "Did you remember where you parked the car?"
Yes. And that's when the movie ends.
I thought this movie was super fun. I forgot how funny it was. I really did.
Yeah, it's not the best movie ever made, but for a fun date night popcorn film, it worked for me.
And it was almost kind of like almost as morbid as Young Frankenstein, except Young Frankenstein was better.
Yeah, but this is good.
It was funny, but it was good. It was good for what it was.
Yeah, it's not a classic, but it's worth watching.
I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you liked it.
I did like it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yes.
So let's break down these characters.
Okay.
What is this? Well, maybe I should get to a few criticisms I have of it, which is nothing big.
Mm-hmm.
But when Meryl Streep goes to see the witch, and
Yes.
she gives her the formula, and she asks Meryl Streep, "How old do you think I am?"
Yes.
Eventually, it comes out that she's 71.
Yes.
I would have thought that they would have made her a lot older, like
90
or 3,000 years older.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I don't know why they picked 71.
But I will
of
say
age.
this: that when I watched it with my family, they were like, "Wow, she looks really young." But you know, it amazes. You know, it's the makeup that they use for the.
Yeah, well, she wasn't really 71, babes.
She wasn't 71. No.
No,
Of course not.
and she said that, you know. But why pick that age? Why not pick a much bigger number?
Like 200 or 3,000.
Yeah. So that was a little bit like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more of Goldie Hawn hating Meryl Streep. I think that would have been good.
Mm.
But overall, I enjoyed this film.
I thought they were really funny together, all three of them.
Yes.
And poor Bruce Willis.
So, what happens to Helen and Madeline in the years between when Bruce Willis leaves and his funeral?
I think they just keep on falling apart because remember they lost their bodies.
Will they eventually die?
Yes, I do. I mean, really die.
What do you think this film says about endearing friendship that lasts throughout the decades of one?
Well, I think they had a very dysfunctional friendship because of what happened with Helen and Madeline. What happened with Madeline stealing Helen's fiance.
And we learned that this is not the first man that Goldie Hawn has lost to Madeline.
Nope. So they have kind of a very dysfunctional friendship, even though they've been friends since they were in school, it sounds like. They were kids. But Madeline always wanted what Helen had. Yes. For whatever reason.
What do you think the morning of the funeral was like for them before they actually went to Ernest's?
I think they were thinking he should have drank the potion. He could have been like us. But then look at what happened to them. Yeah. You see, he was probably better off.
Another criticism I have of the film is I'm not really sure how they have money if he's an undertaker. Now, I know that Madeline was an actress, but they don't really say how successful she was as an actress. I mean, we know that she's been in movies, but is he like a Julia Roberts type star, or is he a B-movie actress?
If you remember, though, he was the one making the money. And remember, he said, "Did you ever work as long as you've been married to me?" Or whatever it was, he said.
So how does an undertaker have that kind of dough to afford a huge mansion?
Remember, though, he was a doctor, but I guess it sounded like she pretty much emasculated this guy, took him for all his money, and now he has to be reduced to an undertaker.
But they still have enough money.
To live comfortably. I don't know.
I would have liked that to be explained.
Yeah.
Do Madeline and Helen ever regret taking the potion?
I think so.
Why?
Because it was more trouble. Well, maybe in some ways they did regret it because they thought that they could live forever, but they didn't. They also knew that they didn't heed the warnings of Liesel the witch.
Is Liesel still alive?
Yes, I think so.
Do you think that this potion will really make you live forever, or just until you're 71?
I think it would help you live forever if you heed the instructions of the person who gave you the potion. That's why I see. That's the way I see it. But since they didn't, they lost their entire bodies, and now they are just talking heads, literally.
At the very end of it.
At the very end of it, which I thought was really funny.
What do you think of Ernie in this movie refusing to take the potion, even though it could save his life when he's hanging on the edge and about to fall?
I think that, well, it was kind of interesting what he said, it's like, what am I going to do? I don't want to live forever. I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, I'm going to be watching all my friends die, and it's supposed to happen. I think he realizes that death is supposed to happen. It's a part of life. And eventually he will die, but that he lived the life that he wanted to live. He didn't want to live forever, and his life not going anywhere. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Okay.
What do Helen and Madeline do with most of their time?
They're on the ground talking to each other because they can't move.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. They're just stuck with each other. They're probably stuck with each other for eternity. I don't know. They might as well get used to it now because they're going to be stuck with each other for eternity. That's how I see it.
Okay. Maybe there's times where they take a couple of centuries away from each other and go and do their things and then meet up later. I don't know.
I think what they tell us about youth is that youth can be fleeting, but you can take care of yourself even in your old age. You don't have to look like that. You don't have to feel like that. You can take care of yourself now while you're young. So when you get old, even though everything, you're not as young as you used to be, you're still sharp. You look somewhat healthy, and you've taken care of yourself for as long as you could.
Is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
Like I said, it's really fun. I think if you want maybe not so much of a deep movie, but you want to laugh a little bit, and it's kind of like a dark comedy, I think you'd enjoy it.
Yes. It's fun. It's a good popcorn movie, good date film.
The three, Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, and Goldie Hawn did really good performances in the movie, I think.
Yes.
They were really funny together.
Yes. We still don't know what we're going to watch tonight.
No, we don't.
But that will make the adventure very exciting.
I like movie adventures.
Yes, I do too.
I like movie adventures.
I was thinking, babes, that it might be fun to explore some Studio Ghibli films. You know about them. We talked about them a little bit last night.
Was Studio Ghibli like with the Japanese, whatever it is?
They're like the Japanese equivalent to Disney. But on HBO Max, they have all their films with that are dubbed in English.
Ah.
I mean, we don't have to necessarily do that tonight.
I think that would be kind of fun. I mean, it's a break from the the serious movies that we've been watching and some other movies that we've watched.
And also, it's like we know they're movies for kids, but we've never seen them.
No.
And I've heard that they take movies there a little bit more seriously, so there's more adult themes in them. Now, I don't know if that's true because I never got into anime.
No,
mainly because of the language barriers.
Right, but there are a lot of anime cartoons that were dubbed in English.
So it's a possibility.
There's an anime cartoon that my sister was into at one time called Sailor Moon, and that was kind of fun.
What was the premise of that?
Sailor Moon, I think, is this girl that has a cat named Luna, but when she gets together with her friends, they have these superpowers. And they join forces together. They're like superheroes.
How old was your sister when she got into this?
We may have been teenagers. So this is like in the 90s, I think it was.
I'm assuming it was dubbed?
Dubbed in English, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sailor Moon was popular for a while.
Yes. I also saw that HBO Max has, I believe, a dubbed version of Like Water for Chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that one before.
It was a popular foreign film in the early 90s. I never watched it. But again, I want to start watching more foreign language films that I can find dubbed, even though everybody says you got to watch the subtitle version.
Yeah, but if you can't read it.
Yeah, listen, if I could read it, I would. This is what I can do.
And if somebody was there reading to us, it would be different.
Yeah. And by the way, Those people who say you've got to watch the subtitle version, try being blind and getting somebody who will read you every line to a film. It ain't as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not. I mean, they would want to watch it.
Exactly. I've tried to do that with friends in like 5 minutes, and they're usually like, okay, let's watch something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's different if there's only a few subtitles in a couple scenes in a movie.
Yeah, that you can make that work.
You can make it work. Like the Jaylo Club has a few subtitles, but it's not bad. It's not like for the entire movie because mostly everything's in English.
Yeah,
that's different. But if it's like all of it except for maybe one scene is not in English, it's kind of hard.
I hate it. Jaylo.
Yes.
Are we allowed to discuss the laugh fest we had last night?
Well, you have to be nice now.
I'm always nice. I'm always good boy. We've discovered I'm never not good
Remember
boy.
some of our feisty exchanges?
What? Okay.
You weren't always good boy.
But I'm always good boy. I'm never not good boy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. We had a barrel of laughs last night.
I suppose.
What happened? Or can we discuss this?
Yes.
Okay, we were getting ready for bed, and we both lie down. Alana is a fan of Rush Limbaugh.
I have to explain my history because I think I need to put this in context.
Go ahead.
I didn't start, and I've heard about him before, but for some reason I did not listen to him because I didn't know where to find him, and I didn't start listening until before the 2016 election. Why I didn't listen to him before, I have no idea. But
maybe you were smarter back then.
Hey, be nice.
Go ahead. I'm just throwing it out there. No, go ahead. I'm being good boy.
Boy.
Sorry, babes. Give me a kiss and I'll be a good boy. I'll be a good boy, but I'll even be better good boy. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
Keep talking, babes.
Well, he has been suffering with lung cancer since since last year, actually, 2020. And it was stage 4, and I know that there are some people that have had stage 4 cancers. Some of them have survived, but a lot of people weren't too sure about this one, and he was keeping people sort of informed on his radio show about his prognosis, and people have been showing him support and writing notes and calling in saying, hey, we're thinking about Rush, and so yesterday I get a message on my phone saying that he has passed away that morning. And so before I go to bed, I'm listening to the latest episode, and before the episode begins, his wife does a short announcement, and I mean, just hearing her talk, she was a brave woman. I'm sure she didn't want to do it because she just lost her husband, but I was assuming that she didn't want to do it, but she had to do it, for the fans, and she didn't cry. She was very calm and composed, and I thought, wow, what a courageous person to do that on the air. I think she may have pre-recorded it, but yeah, it was a bittersweet episode, I will say.
So let's just say, without going into specific details, that I am definitely not a fan, right? And then we'll just leave that at that, because unless you really want to get things to, which I don't think you do.
No.
But yesterday, I had sort of teased you with the idea, hey, if we talk about this, I have a great podcast title for the episode. And so later on that night, before we get ready for bed, you say, so what's the podcast title you're going to use if we talk about Rush? And I say, I think it would be fun to call it Death of a Douchebag.
And I said no.
But you did laugh. You did laugh.
I laughed because I couldn't believe you said that. I was like, did you really say that?
Yeah.
I can't, and I didn't know what else to do, right? It wasn't like I liked the title, but
You did find it a little bit funny, though. Death of a douchebag.
No.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
You said you'll be nice.
I am going to be nice.
What other titles did you think of?
Okay, so here's some of the titles that got rejected from Alana. Lung cancer done right. You just giggle.
No, because you said it last night, and I'm like, that is just wrong.
But you did laugh.
I did, but it was wrong. It was wrong. I just didn't. Yeah, okay, go on.
And the other title, now this may need a little bit of explaining. Rush Limbaugh thought that drug addicts should go to jail, but he himself was a fan of OxyContin.
A fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I came up with the title OxyContin in the Coffin.
And you thought that was hilarious.
I was cracking myself up last night.
You were cracking yourself up. But then I thought of other names for episodes. Like I thought of Rush of Death and and you thought of Rushed Out.
Rushed Out, I thought. But I really do like Death of a Douchebag and OxyContin in the Coffin. We're not going to use Death of a Douchebag, but we might use OxyContin.
No, we're not.
We're not going to use that.
No, I
It would be blatantly disrespectful. And I'm anything but disrespectful.
Oh, what?
Keep going.
I told him that we both have to agree on the title because I'm a part of the podcast too.
Oh, I know you are there, Jaylo.
Right?
I know you are there.
I mean, you put my name in pretty much every single episode title.
But then, we were having fun joking about him. And I said, hey, babes, what if Fresh comes back from the dead and he wants to box me? And
I said, I don't think he's thinking about that.
And I said, well, wouldn't it be funny if tomorrow, because you said that his wife is holding it together, if she came back on the show with her boyfriend who was the pool boy and they talk about their love life now.
Oh, they have a pool boy.
For full disclosure, that is done in comedy. I don't believe that she has a pool boy or is cheated on her husband or anything like that. That's parody.
It's parody.
And I can't be sued for parody.
No, you can't be sued for parody or satirical anything, right?
Yeah, and this is a satirical something.
Okay.
Yes. So, without getting into his legacy, you were wondering what they were going to do with his radio show, and I gave you my thoughts.
Yeah.
Which you thought were really good.
I did. I mean, what they do with it is what they do with it, but I actually thought your ideas may work. Okay, so I'm just going to lay them out here. My ideas was either today or tomorrow, they should run his very first broadcast nationally, right? And then at the end of the show, or maybe even at the beginning, they have somebody from his crew come on and say, hey guys, for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a fan request show. So email us asking us to play your favorite moments from the history of the show, and you'll hear that over the course of the next 2 weeks. Then sometime in March, start doing a different guest host each week. But you do it Monday through Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. And then Friday would be alternate days. So every other Friday, you'd have fan requests of their favorite moments. Mm-hmm. And then the alternating Friday, you would take members of the audience. So you would encourage people to send in tapes doing their best Rush Limbaugh impression. Mm-hmm. And you would have them host a Friday. Then around the summer, you would start to work in some of the guys who were requested by the fans mm-hmm. and approved by them to come in and maybe do like a week here or there. Mm-hmm. The week before Labor Day, you take the 5 hosts who are, you can tell, are most beloved through emails or call reactions, and you play their best episode. And you say, okay, Labor Day weekend, we're voting, and the fans are going to choose the replacement. The Tuesday after Labor Day, you bring everybody in there who competed. You maybe have his producer do a lead up, and you spend that show narrowing it down. And the last segment of the Tuesday show after Labor Day is announcing who the permanent host will be. Mm-hmm. And this runner-up gets to date Rush's wife and gets to be the guest host when the main host is out. Yeah, well. Yes. I don't know about the dating of Rush's wife, though. Uh-oh. It's a little too much. That's what I would give away. That's something that, a radio host like, I don't know, Howard Stern would do. Oh. Yeah. And Rush was no Howard Stern. No, Howard Stern's very talented. Uh-huh. Very funny. Yeah, if you like smut. I'm a big Howard fan, babe. Smut. Oh. I think his show's way better than what. Smut. So isn't this interesting, babes? It's like
you're a fan. We're both fans of, I guess, the two most popular radio talk show hosts of our time. But we're both fans of different ones who are who have very different shows.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think that it's possible that Howard Stern may be a nice guy. I just don't like his content.
I don't know. It's possible that Rush Limbaugh is a nice guy, but I definitely don't agree with that.
I've been hearing some really great stories about how he has really made people's day by sending them presents that he thought that they deserved because they deserved them.
I didn't know that Howard did that, but
no, Rush, not Howard Stern.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Smutty Stern.
We should listen. Have you ever heard when Howard Stern had members of his crew take Rush Limbaugh's audiobook and make like funny comments out of it?
No, I don't need to hear that.
Maybe it would be a good way of a mumbling Rush. Okay.
No, I don't need to hear it.
Okay.
There's enough smut in the world. I don't need to hear any of that.
Anyways, this isn't the Howard Stern tribute.
This is not the Howard Stern tribute.
Because when we do that, I'm going to have like articles and the whole thing prepared.
Oh, jeez.
And hopefully we won't have to do that for a while. But...
Well, he is getting up there.
Yeah, he's relatively healthy, though. And he's younger than Rush is.
Yeah. Not by much. But, much. But he also probably... I don't know if he smokes or anything, but...
No, he doesn't smoke.
But one of the things that... I think the reason that Rush did get the lung cancer is because of how many cigars that he was into. I mean, he was a cigar aficionado, and that's something I never liked about. I never liked it when people got into the habit of smoking cigarettes or cigars. So that would probably make sense that he wasn't good health wise.
No, Jaylo, no. But he's gone, babes.
Yes, he's gone.
We had a fun time last night, though, talking about his passing and laughing about it.
You were the one laughing mostly about it.
I made you laugh a few times.
A little bit.
Not just with the death of a douchebag. Didn't I also say funny stuff?
You did, but you kept saying funny stuff.
Well, babes, it's only funny if you laugh.
Yes, I know.
That's the great thing about humor, is it's subjective.
Yes, I know.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
When your friend called, were they crying on the phone about it?
It was just a message that was left on my phone.
That is so weird that somebody would call you just to say that. Like, as big of a Howard Stern fan as I am, I can't think of anybody in my life who would call me just to talk about that. And I would think that I would...
I don't think it's that weird.
Okay.
I don't think it's weird at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Because sometimes people will, leave messages for me if I can't get to the phone or whatever, whoever it is, but... I don't think it's weird at all. I don't see the weirdness in it. I don't know why you see the weirdness in it.
See, I mean, no matter what radio show or podcast I like, I don't think I would call anybody to discuss it if the host died.
Just that a person left a message. I don't about anyone dying. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Rush Limbaugh or somebody else.
Yes.
I don't see anything wrong, because if I didn't get the message, if I didn't get the call, I didn't get the call, or whatever it is.
It just seems weird when it's like a celebrity who you don't know.
I don't see the weirdness in it. I really don't.
Can this person get a date?
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know about this person's personal life, so
you don't know this person that well then.
Well, no, I don't. What I mean is, I don't ask my friends about their personal life. It doesn't bother me.
This is one of your Christian friends?
Probably.
Okay, give me a kiss.
Bubs,
what?
I know you care about that stuff, about people's personal lives. I don't.
Hey, babes.
Yes.
Rush Limbaugh can't kiss his wife today, but I can kiss my Jaylo. So I think in honor of him, let's make out. Come on.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, but let's make out.
You're stinkle.
You're stinkle.
My Rick is the biggest stinker here.
You're a stinkle, Jaylo.
Yeah, you are quite mischievous.
Oh my goodness.
Ornery.
But we have fun with it, don't we, babes?
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't care about people's personal lives. That's really on them. Doesn't bother me.
Yes. Yeah, I just can't think if I would call somebody if a celebrity I really liked died, right?
Well, I will give you an example of what happened once.
Go ahead.
I remember somebody told me that Whitney Houston died.
Yeah.
This was this was like in 2012. And I was just floored. I'm like, Whitney Houston. So, and then I call my sister and I said, "Hey, did you hear about who died?" And the reason why I talked to her about that is because we both grew up with her music. I mean, I was very surprised when she died. I was also very surprised when Michael Jackson died, and I know it. We already established that I'm a fan of his, but I remember where I was when he died, and I also was very surprised when I found out that Prince died, because I didn't even know that he was sick.
Yeah. So I could see if you're talking to somebody and it comes up on the phone, right? But just to call somebody and just to discuss the celebrity stuff seems a little bit weird. Oh, by the way, am I allowed to tell the Michael Jackson dad joke I told you yesterday?
No.
I'm not?
No.
Okay.
No, because everybody that has listened to our podcast knows how you feel about it, and that I think it's really unnecessary.
Alana thought that Michael Jackson was wrongfully accused of certain things.
I think they know
and
that.
Not just making good music.
I think they know that already.
Okay.
You don't have to go down that road again.
Okay, Jaylo, it's okay. But I did make you laugh with the joke.
I didn't think it was that funny. I actually thought you were. I thought I was for a minute. I had to think.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that true? No, it's not. It's not true. Well, and then you were also joking about another thing, which you won't get into.
What was I joking about? I don't know.
Not just him, but you were joking. You were also associating it with a place.
Was that? I don't remember doing that.
A place,
No.
A certain school.
Was I?
Yes, you were.
Okay, I don't remember.
I'll have to explain it to you after this.
Oh.
Because you probably forgot.
Oh.
I'm not going to give the name because that wouldn't be good.
But if you think our talk about Rush Limbaugh here is fun now, you should have heard us last night.
Oh, goodness. You just would not stop.
You should have heard me laugh.
You would just not stop making jokes.
We talked about it for it must have been like 2 hours.
You were just like, it was so funny that you're cracking yourself up and you're like, you know what? I am not going to get sleep if you keep on going like this.
But you were having a good time too, babes.
I was.
Yes, because you were laughing a lot.
I was, but some of the jokes were just like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Don't you feel good that you are with somebody who could be that funny in bed? Especially when dealing with somebody who's going through a very tragic loss.
No, I'm kidding. Well, you have a funny way of handling serious moments.
Thank you.
If I can say that.
Yes.
I don't know what to think about it. I don't think you are insensitive, but I think you do it to actually make the person not think of it so much. Am I right?
That's fair.
Okay, I don't think you are malicious in doing that, but there's sometimes where it's like, oh, that is just wrong.
Yes.
That is just wrong.
There we go, Jay.
And so I have to get back at you in my own way.
Oh.
No, needless to say, you did get me to laugh, I have to say. I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't, because I really did.
In your moment of need.
Well, I mean, let me just say this. I am saddened by the loss. I'm not devastated.
Okay.
It's not like I lost my relative or something.
No.
It's not like I lost, like, one of my oldest friends I grew up with.
No. Yeah, he was just some old guy on the radio who... Sorry.
Would you say that about Howard Stern? No.
What I would say is, listen, would I be crying if Howard Stern died? No. I do think that he's very talented, though. But truth be told, he's a little bit past his prime. I think his show in particular has seen better days. It would be sad, but I wouldn't call anybody on the phone just to talk about his death.
Now, I wish I would have heard stuff when I was much younger, but I don't think he was past his prime. I just thought that it seemed like the callers who called in believed that he was getting better and better, even if he was sicker than usual.
Oh.
I mean, that's how I found it to be. Like, I didn't ever hear a caller call in the last 4.5 years saying, "Oh, Rush, you sound terrible," or "You lost your passion, you lost your fire."
Oh.
He still had the same passion. He was much older.
Stop.
That's enough.
No, go ahead.
Pot shot.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Fighting words, bro.
Go ahead.
How would you know about oppressing the poor? Ow.
Oh, sorry, babe.
Ow.
I stick my thumb in your armpit to try to tickle you.
Ow.
Sorry, babes.
Owie.
Oh.
I'm okay. I'm fine. But no, what I was gonna say is, I never heard a caller say that he has really lost his fire and passion and wit. Yes. They always said that he was in their thoughts and prayers, and they always complimented him on what he has said. And there were people that may have disagreed with him somewhat, but I have never heard anyone say that he has lost his passion, his will to live, his fire, his work ethic, his wit. Never heard that.
Oh.
Never even occurred to me that he would have lost it.
Well, good.
So I honestly thought that it was getting better. I mean, but then I haven't watched it until 4.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely not my cup of tea, but good on you, babes.
But you admitted that when you heard parts of his episodes, you would admit that it was a lot more positive than Democracy Now! Because I complained to you about how negative it was, right?
Well, Democracy Now! Is it's a better show because it focuses on truth, right?
Yeah, right.
But Amy Goodman is pretty depressing.
Truth?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it does. I think that Rush Limbaugh slants the truth a certain way to promote a
But how would you know that? You haven't listened.
I said that was what I think.
I think
didn't say I knew that for sure.
I think Amy Goodman definitely slants the truth to her way.
Every broadcaster does it, depending on if you like them or not. But I think some people are more guilty of it than others.
I think there's a difference, though.
Okay.
There is the actual truth and facts that are actually proven, and then there's keeping the truth from other people. So you're only presenting one side of the story, but you're not presenting the other side, which actually, if you put it all together, and you look at the evidence, but you only present one side of it to a certain demographic, then they think that it's the truth, but it's really not. I mean, I'm just saying, that there are people, that there are journalists that are guilty of purposely not giving all of the story.
Okay, so let me ask you something about presenting one side but not the other side. So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but something tells me you're going to agree, that Rush was probably not the biggest AOC fan in the world, right?
Of course not.
Okay, but how often did he have her on his show to debate a particular issue?
She probably wouldn't have come on a show. See, I've been listening to alternative outlets that have requested her, or maybe Obama, or anybody that is associated with those two people to come and debate them, and they would always decline.
Okay, so
they always decline. So that kind of makes me wonder,
let's take another example.
Oh, I wasn't finished.
Okay.
It kind of makes me wonder, well, if they really didn't have anything to hide, then why are they declining?
Okay, let's take an example of somebody we know is liberal but still does right-wing media. And we know that because you've seen them do right-wing media. Mm-hmm. Bernie Sanders. How often was he a guest on the Rush Limbaugh show?
He was not, but I'm not saying that he wouldn't have had him on. But like I said, I've heard many conservative media outlets request people to come on, like Bernie Sanders or whoever it is. Obama was requested on to come on Fox News, but he always declined.
No, he was on Fox News, and I've showed you the clips.
Well, okay, he declined to go on a particular show.
Okay.
On Fox News when I used to watch it. And he still declined. And there were other people that were requested to come on shows, and they all, and a lot of them have declined.
But we know that Bernie Sanders has done right-wing media and has gotten criticism, unjustly so, from members of the left for doing it.
This is what I don't understand, though,
Go
okay?
ahead.
Because you would agree that even the left has been known to the left has been known to cancel people, even from their own parties, right?
Both parties do it, but the left does it too, yes.
No, the left does it more.
The left does it too, I would say, but keep going.
Okay.
Ask the Dixie Chicks if it's only the left that do.
Well, the Dixie
cancel
Chicks are
culture.
on the left, so I wouldn't even count them. They're
Right,
not.
but
They're
they
not.
were canceled by the right. But keep going, babes.
Well, they were. I mean, I think rightfully so, right? They weren't. They weren't so respectful to the president, right?
Well, Bush didn't really earn respect, I don't think.
Really?
He sent people to war for oil and because of his daddy, and they called him out on that. But back to your point.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, I don't care for their stuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I can bash on them if I want.
Oh.
Yeah, the Dixie Chicks, who are now called the Chicks, right? As if that would really care. As if people would really care.
Look, saying that they were unjustly canceled doesn't mean I support everything
But my point being is, if we're going to talk about censorship,
yes,
no one on either side should be canceled, no matter what it is. If there are conflicting views, there are conflicting views, but don't just cancel them because you don't like them. Oh. And I've been hearing about it a lot. I think it's gone way overboard. I don't know that it is going to stop. I think it's an ongoing battle. You said that you think it was going to stop, right?
Yes.
How so?
Because people are getting tired of it. Like, I'm getting tired of it. Like, I think Roseanne Barr is crazy, right? But,
yeah.
And I don't think that, listen, nobody on the right can really.
She said some pretty outlandish things.
But here's the thing. Her getting canceled from her own TV show was completely out there. Like, when you hire someone like her that she's going to say some crazy shit because she's done that throughout her entire career. And so,
why is it a surprise now? That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. Why is it a surprise now? And so that's just one example. I could give you others, but I think people are starting to get tired of it.
But what really makes me angry is that the kids on her show, she was responsible for making them famous, and they pretty much threw her under the bus.
I don't care about that.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, she and I don't think she should have given them the rights to the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, but what I'm trying to say is I think that people are starting to get tired of cancel culture.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one thing to get tired of it, but I don't know it's going to stop, if it's going to stop, like, really stop, because... Uh-oh. And I honestly don't know how people would get stopped, because they're going to find a platform no matter whether they're off the bigger social media platforms. There's always going to be something.
Yes.
So, I mean, even though there is cancel culture out there, and I think it's ridiculous, I don't know that it really will be able to continue, even though I don't see it stopping. But I don't know how it's going to continue when there are people that are either creating their own platforms or they're going on alternative platforms that won't kick them off.
Interesting. Anyway,
I think we kind of went down a rabbit hole.
Yes, here. But Rush Limbaugh, as far as you know, had never had anybody on who was super left wing, like a Bernie Sanders type.
Not necessarily. I'm hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You have to remember, I haven't listened to 32 and a half years of his stuff. There might be something in there that I'm missing, because of course I would be missing it. I don't know that he wouldn't have anyone on that was liberal, but there are some people that I'm sure he might, because he's like he said before, he's read a lot of liberal media. He does that also too, because he uses it to prepare for what he wants to talk about, and he always has a stack of stuff right there.
Oh.
And there's all these different things that he goes through, and I think that the EIB network is going to be around for a long time.
God, let's hope not.
That's it. Fighting words.
All right.
Okay.
Tickle truce?
I almost ate your iPad.
Okay.
Tickle
all right.
truce.
Tickle truce. Tickle truce.
Is your iPad okay?
Yes.
I almost ate it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It was yummy.
Oh, good.
No, I'm just kidding. I almost ate it.
Yes. Well,
I'm telling you, Bubs, your pot charts are going to get you in serious trouble.
No. I am not a fan. But I feel that, it is what it is. And we're just going to see what happens from here.
Yes.
Yes. But I do think that we need more liberal voices in our media.
No, I think we've had enough of that.
Oh. Well, what the media does is they'll pick like dumb liberal voices to amplify instead of going after intelligent people.
I don't know that there are. Well, there are. I will say this. There are sensible liberals out there.
Like Bernie Sanders.
No, he's not that sensible. I mean, I think that there are liberals that actually do believe in free speech, and they don't think that cancel culture is necessary at all. But I think it's the dumb ones that are making it super hard.
Right, but you do know that there's more than like one issue in this country. It's not just all about cancel culture.
I know that.
Okay.
Of course I know that.
Okay, good.
That's why there is a huge battle that's why there is a huge battle going on here.
Oh.
It isn't just for cancel culture, it's other stuff.
Oh. So outside
are we going to stop?
We're about to wrap it up. Outside of me, who's another sensible liberal? I'm the most sensible, but I'm
really?
not famous.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, you know that, but
in some ways you are, in some ways you're not so much.
Oh, but I'm pretty sensible. But outside of me, who's the most sensible liberal? Like a famous person, because I'm not famous.
Let's see, let me think. I would say, and this may not be a very good, I mean, I don't really know much about this guy. I've just heard him being interviewed, and I've heard him talk about the media, and how liberal media has been very biased. And his name is Glenn Greenwald.
Glenn Greenwald, I would actually agree with you on.
Glenn Greenwald. Now he is a liberal commentator, but he knows the ins and outs of the media. He believes that there are people that were canceled and shouldn't have been canceled, and he's spoken out against it.
Yes, but again, babe, there is more to life than just cancel culture.
No. I'm just giving you an example.
Okay, that's fair, babe.
I don't know about the other issues. I don't know about all the other issues that he supports or doesn't support, but that was one thing I was thinking about.
Nice.
Of course there's more issues than cancel culture.
It's like our environment is going to hell, but let's focus on cancel culture.
And people really can't do anything about the environment as far as change the weather, but some people believe that.
Oh. Well, I don't think that it's just humans who have contributed to climate change. To say that humans haven't had any impact, I think is very narrow-minded.
I think there's
We've definitely had an impact.
I think there's been a lot of scare tactics, and they try to scare people in the name of science to prove their point, but they haven't.
It doesn't bother you that the bees are going away, and a lot of it is being contributed to cell phone signals?
That I don't know about, and I'm not even sure if that can really be proven. I'm not saying it isn't or isn't true. I'm not too sure about that, and I don't think that cows contribute to the emission of the carbon emissions like people have thought so.
I don't know, babes. But
I don't think that cows really contribute a lot to carbon emissions.
Well, I still love my conservative
but the Learjets that these liberal elitists like to go on apparently do. So
wait a second, doesn't Rush Limbaugh, didn't he fly private? Didn't
Yeah, but he wasn't. I'm not talking about him.
Oh, of course not. Hey, I thought we had a tickle juice.
You fighting words, Bubs. Fighting words. Okay. All right. Enough.
I'm not going to count Trump. I'm not
Good boy. We're not talking about him.
We're not counting.
You be good boy.
We're only counting Wibbles today.
You be good boy.
And if we only count Wibbles.
Good boy.
All right. If we only count
Good
Wibbles,
boy.
then it's all of them. All right.
You be good boy.
All right, babes.
Are we gonna wrap this up now?
We are saying. It is
Good
funny
boy.
that.
Good boy.
Okay. We will not talk about the private jets that people on the right.
No, I'm talking about.
But the
I'm
people on
talking
the left
about.
are really
I'm
suffering.
talking about Chelsea Clinton. She's one of the people that has said publicly that we should not be flying planes, and yet she'll fly on a Learjet.
Look, Chelsea Clinton is a rich kid, and she's probably a dumb kid too. I mean, I don't know the lady, but what incentive do you have to learn if your father is a president, right? But by the same token, does Donald Trump Jr. need to be that smart? I mean, is he? I don't know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that leftist elitists are lecturing everybody about how to live their life, and I don't think they should.
Oh.
I think they should mind their own business.
I think I think people on both sides.
Okay. I think we should wrap up before
All right, babes, let's wrap this up.
before it gets a little interesting here.
Let's talk about hypocrisy on the left, but not on the right, okay? I don't care about hypocrisy.
Okay, enough.
All right, babes. I love you, Jaylo.
I love you too.
I hope that Ted Cruz had fun again. Hey, wait a second. You don't like Ted Cruz either.
I don't either, but I thought we were wrapping up politics.
I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm trying to wrap this up.
I will say this. I heard that Ted Cruz went to Canada, which
Cancun.
or I'm sorry, Cancun. I'm sorry. And I thought that was interesting considering what's going on in Texas. I don't necessarily care why he went there or when he went there, but yeah, that's crazy. But I don't really want to talk about Ted Cruz.
I'm about to give Donald Trump a compliment. Him giving Ted Cruz the nickname of Lying Ted, I still think is one of the most brilliant things that he has done, and just a brilliant thing in general.
I will say this, okay? I don't like Ted Cruz. I don't like that he's an establishment person, and frankly, I don't like establishment people on both sides. But I don't hate him either. I just would, yeah.
This morning, we were in bed, and I told you John Boehner called Ted Cruz the devil, or at least that's how I remembered it. And you were like, that's not true. Or you were questioning. I don't know if you were quite like that. And then we Googled it and found
I thought that was a little too much.
Yeah, and then we Googled and found out that it was technically he called him Satan or Lucifer, depending on what paper you found it in. But he is on record.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So people in his own party thinks he's a little bit of a spineless.
Well, John Boehner, I would argue
person.
that John Boehner is a spineless, horrible person. I mean,
He's a Republican.
Hey!
Okay, all right, babes.
Fighting words, Bubs. I'm telling you,
You like to tickle a lot.
Yes, I do. Ow!
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that hurt.
Sorry, babes. I was trying to tickle you. Hey, babes. Well, babes.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't like Ted Cruz.
I don't hate him either, but I think he shouldn't be. He should. Anyway.
Now I've heard that that's not even his real name.
Are we gonna keep on going with this?
Okay.
Enough.
Well, wouldn't it give more?
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop.
All right.
That's enough. I think we've pretty much.
I'm wrapping this up. Babes.
I think we pretty much beat a dead horse now.
Wrapping this up.
Thank you.
He's enjoying his new bootstraps. What?
I thought we were done.
I'm wrapping it up.
All right.
I'm doing the wrap up.
Okay.
He's enjoying his new bootstraps. And I hope he likes them. Also, babes, today,
Yes.
Rush Limbaugh's wife cannot make out with her husband. And so, I think in honor of her, we should, one, I hope she's having fun with the pool boy.
Oh my
And two,
goodness. I don't even know if she has a pool boy.
No, I'm sure that's
Are you
not
sure?
true. But give me a kiss. Let's make out in honor of wrestling ball.
We'll see.
And then maybe do some other stuff.
Oh my goodness. What am I going to do with this guy?
You're going to listen to me, okay?
Really?
Yes. Is there anything else you wanted to say, babes?
A rousing conversation. A little bit of feistiness in between. I hope you'll enjoy this.
Yes. You're a little bit feisty, but I still love you. But
well, I will say this. This man has... After dating this man for almost 3 years, yes. I will say this. He has been able to get the passion out of me that I never even thought I had.
See?
I guess it's a good thing.
Okay, one more question before we...
Oh, no.
Well, I'm going to make this quick, babes. We know that I'm lefty.
Yes,
and
there's still hope for you.
There's still hope for you. But what I want to know is, have I ever convinced you to change your political opinion on even one issue? Or at least evolve it a little bit? And
nope.
If so, what? Wow.
Not at all.
Wow.
Nope, I'm very, very staunch.
Wow.
You have not convinced me even 1 iota.
Even 1 iota?
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Not at all. I am not budging.
Wow.
Not even 1 millisecond.
Well, as a man who believes in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
whatever,
I would like to.
Yeah, we'll
suggest,
find out in the next. We'll find out next week.
Just
how much.
Oh, that's right. We're doing Jaylo loves Jesus again.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will see how much, how far we get with that.
I'm a little bit afraid that God is going to judge you harshly for not letting me have a bigger influence on you, but that's between him and you.
I think you should worry about your own soul, my dear.
Oh, it is.
That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, it is. All right, babes, unless there's anything else you want to say. I think we're good.
I don't know. There's a little bit of everything in this episode. I'm sure people will enjoy it.
Yes.
Comedy.
I think, babes.
What? Feistiness?
We should make out. Maybe go a little bit further and on our wrestling ball.
Oh my goodness.
And then after that, have some cookies. What do you think about that?
All right.
All right.
Okay, folks. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.